For some time now, there has been several reoccurring theories and ideas regarding the outcome of Kenny Veach. That being the mineshaft, the place Kenny stood on his M Cave hike video. Search and rescue team found loose change and his mobile phone right next to it. So people were led on to believe that just maybe Kenny went down there and he never got out. And whilst that is a valid point, people have been down there and couldn't locate anything. However, in recent time, there has been an unusual change to the environment. Something is no longer there. Something is now missing. And in this video, I will share with you what it is. A comparison of Kenny's hike and the most recent hike video which looks into this location. Join me as I discuss this strange occurrence.
This thing, who knows how long it's been out here, and I have no idea what they were digging up, but it looks like some of the rocks are kind of rusty, so it might have been some kind of ore. This is kind of iffy. I'm going to step on this thing. It's very old, but I'll just show you down inside that hole. It goes way, way, way down in there. Let me see if I can... that's pretty far. That goes way down in there. If you fell.
So that was Kenny's footage. Now let's look at Scott's 7 years on in the same location.
Okay, I'm gonna grab my light and I'm gonna see if I can go down that ladder. Okay. Let's I have to go down there. I can't stand it. Because that first board's not good.
So at first glance, everything looks similar. Nothing out of the ordinary. Why should there be any difference when it's the same exact location and it's a very remote place? But if you look closer, you notice there is something missing, and it's got something to do with the ladder, which I'll show you right now. So it should become clearer to what I was talking about in terms of the ladder. As you can see on the left hand side, Scott Natal hike footage, and on the right hand side, Kenny Veach hike footage. A 7-year difference. And as you can see, in Kenny's video, when he gets up to the mine shaft and looks at the ladder, there's a wooden rung which runs across the top. But in Scott's video, 7 years on, it's no longer there. Where has it gone? That is the question. What's happened to it? One there, missing on the left hand side. So the question is, what's happened to it? And why would it disappear? Well, most likely it's because it's been broken and it's fallen down into the mine shaft. Most likely. Now, let's look at it from a different angle. Here you go. This is looking inwards as the ladder goes down. On the left hand side, Scott's. On the right hand side, Kenny's. As you can see with Kenny's, the gap between the top and, where the next one meets is quite smaller. Whereas the one on Scott's video, it looks like there's a bigger gap. So that's interesting. One thing to take in mind, it's at a slightly different camera angle, so that could be deceiving. But nevertheless, if we're just referring back to this key one. It's evident and it's a fact that the top rung is missing. Now, why would it be missing? Some kind of weight would have had to been applied onto it for it to snap, break off. As we saw in Scott's hike footage, he actually climbed down the ladder and it didn't break, so it was still quite solid. So why would the top piece be missing? Who knows? Maybe it was slightly weaker. But that's what the question is. Who else or what else has been there in between for it to break, for it to disappear? Was it an animal? Was it another person? Could it be Kenny? You know, like with the mobile phone, the loose change which was found nearby the mine shaft. Maybe he climbed down or something and the top piece broke and he fell inwards. You never know. However, although it may be a valid point that Kenny could have possibly fallen down there due to his items being nearby, a key point to mention which rules out the idea of Kenny falling down there is hikers such as Scott and Jeff Clark did explore the mine shaft and did not find any remains or bones of anything or anyone, so it rules that out. But additionally, to reinforce the idea Kenny Veach was most likely not responsible for the top rung breaking off the ladder, is that in 2017, the 6th of the 16th, Jeff Clark visited the mine shaft. And as you can see on this picture, if you look at the ladder down here at the top, the wooden rung is present. It is clearly there. So, from 2014 to 2017, the top rung was present and not broke. It was only after 2017 it went missing, no longer there. The question is, who and what visited that area after 2017 and why were they there? It could just be an animal and it stepped on it, it snapped. But depending how you look at it, in certain circumstances, when an animal often steps on a beam or some kind of panelling, they end up falling through or falling over the edge, and then you find them at the very bottom, like in wells and other mines. It's happened before. This is not the case though, so that possibly rules that out. But additionally, another thing to consider is in terms of people, who and why would they visit that area? You know, from what we know of, it's definitely a remote location. Not many people go there. There's no real reason for people to actually be there unless you were searching for something or searching for someone. Kenny was present because he was on his M Cave hike. Another hiker was present because they were looking for Kenny as well as the M Cave. Jeff was present because he was looking for Kenny as well as trying to get to the bottom of what was at the bottom of the mine shaft. There was a reason to why those people were there, and even really Robin in another location. A normal person, I've not seen any other footage of people in that area, so I don't know who would go out there because there's no other recorded footage to show anyone else present there. So it makes you question what's happened since and why has it happened. You know, from the quality of the ladder, for the most part of it, it looked to be in decent quality, considering Scott Natal, you know, climbed down it. So why is the top bit missing? I mean, you could say it was sabotaged, the ladder or something, but no, because there's nothing at the bottom. That's the ultimate reality. However, let's just look at one more thing.
We went down further. So yeah, they buried this in. Looks like maybe went down over 10 feet.
So, from the looks of it and from what Scott said, it's been filled in, as originally it went down deeper. Who knows what lies beneath, if it leads on to other passageways, other tunnels, other connections. Most likely miners are responsible for filling it in at the time, but some people could argue and apply the theory that maybe Kenny did fall down into the mine and there was some kind of rock fall which killed him and covered his body. Other people could apply the theory that something or someone killed Kenny in some way, and then he was covered up in the mine shaft like a grave. That's one way of looking at it. But I have a feeling that it's not very likely that. That's just my opinion. But let's not just stop from there. Additionally, in that mine shaft, although it's quite small and narrow, there's not much to it. There's not too much depth. However, either in Scott's video, or at least from what Jeff Clark said when he was down there, there's some kind of tunnel in the corner in the mine shaft that goes on, but it's either too narrow to actually fit down it, or it's been, filled in too much. So you'd probably have to dig away at it. So if there is an opening, if there is a tunnel, who knows where that could lead on to? Because depending if Jeff Clark leaves a comment down below, he can share his own experience to make it clearer. But from what I can remember from a comment he made, is that, if there is tunnels in that mine shaft and if they were accessible, maybe they would link onto other passageways, other tunnel systems, linking onto other mines which are located around. Because as like in Scott's hike videos, he did encounter and see a lot of mines and holes in the ground. So maybe some of them could link on. Ultimate question is, though, could the mine shaft and the tunnels lead on to the M cave, or the opening entrance to the M cave, and what lies within that, if you get what I'm saying? Who knows? But I think overall it's quite interesting. So linking back, ultimately it's evident that someone or something did damage the ladder. Now, whether it's suspicious or not, intentional or not, one thing to also consider is things have been altered within the environment previously on past hikes with other hikers, such as Really Robin and another hiker. And I'll show you that right now.
But nevertheless, one thing that was quite odd was the fact that that bit of bone or something found like hanging or dangling on a small tree. So like on the screenshot there, that's the base of the tree or bush, whatever it is. And then towards the top, you've got that. And as you can see, a twig's gone through the holes of it. So it's basically stuck on it like a spear. But it's weird. Why would a bone be put on that? Do you know, like if you, like when you see those horror films and you get those tribes where they've got these big stakes and then there's a skull stuck right on top of something. That's obviously done by someone. An animal wouldn't do that. And like with this, why would a piece of bone be stuck on a tip or something which an animal probably couldn't reach? / there wouldn't be really any need for an animal to gently place something on top. Do you understand what I mean?
Extremely desolate. However, there is a bone put upon this rock, and it's too high to the floor where the riverbed would flow when it overflows and comes down the mountain. This is not natural. I did not touch this. Look how high that is, guys. This is up to like my shoulders, so like 4 feet. 3.5, something like that. But that is definitely put there as a warning.
So as you saw in those clips, which I did previously cover in a past video, it's evident that things within the environment have been moved around or put in suspicious positions. Now, additionally, I don't have footage, but from Jeff's experience, whether it was near the covered up cave or elsewhere, Jeff mentioned about some skull art perched on a rock as well, and it was a bit creepy. So, you know, the environment, with it being remote and not receiving many visitors, who is responsible for these things being moved around within the environment, and why are they placed in weird positions and hard to reach areas where an animal wouldn't be responsible? Is it some kind of warning? Is it leaving some kind of trail or hints behind? So, you know, with those encounters and that evidence, it reinforces the strangeness surrounding the ladder being broken. What was present there at that time to cause that? Does it have any link to all those skulls being found in weird places and positions? Who knows? But I thought it was worth referring back to, just to reinforce this idea that there is something very strange going on. So in conclusion, yet another mystery, another odd finding, another change to the environment in such a mysterious area to begin with. Who knows what will show up next, what will appear, and what will disappear. But from the looks of it, as new footage emerges from new hikers, one thing for sure is it's not the same as it was back then to how it is now, as seen with certain changes within the environment and things being placed around. Who knows what will show up next, but I'm sure there will always be yet more mysteries appearing and more odd things occurring, whether it be human behaviour or new sightings. And that is it for now. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time. Goodbye.